But in this one today, I want to talk about one of my least favorite things to do in the world of bartending, and that is have to cut off people that have had too much to drink. Now, this is just my personality. I really don't like conflict, so I try to stay away from this. So I've gotten good at developing the art of the subtle cutoff. The reason that we don't want to over-serve people is that we can assume responsibility for anything that happens after they leave our establishment. The thing that's important to know is that it doesn't matter how much somebody has had before they come to your bar. If you're the last one that serves them, you take the responsibility for all the prior drinking they may have done. So if somebody's out on a bar crawl and they go hit 10 bars and do 10 Irish car bombs and they come into your bar and they only have a Miller Lite to wind down, if they drive home and get in an accident and something bad happens and they're coming back looking for someone's head, we're going to be in trouble because we're the last one that served them. So there's a little bit of variance on this in state to state. So again, this is another instance to make sure that you check your local guidelines and state regulations to make sure that you understand and make sure that you stay within those limits. So basically, we got to be careful because we're going to assume responsibility. Now, this all kind of starts with your bar's policy, but basically you're just going to have to go off your own personal insights about when somebody's had too much. And there's going to be variance. It's not really like a set number of drinks because some people have a higher tolerance than others. Some people can hide it better than others. You're really just going to kind of have to get a feel for this, but it's usually not that hard. And basically what you use as a guideline is if you can look at somebody and just go, that guy is fucking wasted, or that chick is just absolutely hammered. If they're disrupting other customers or they're being a nuisance, then definitely start to ramp up the thought process of needing to cut somebody off. But the other thing is, these are good customers, right? People that have drinking problems are great customers for bartenders. So you don't want to piss anybody off. You don't want to turn anybody off to the point where they're not going to want to come back. Now, generally, they're not going to remember this, but you still want to be gentle when you're cutting somebody off. And my favorite tactic is I just try to get in close and I try to make it between me and them. Just like, hey, look, I know you're my buddy, and I'll blame the managers, throw the managers on the bus. It's like, see, my manager over there, they told me that I can't serve you anymore, but basically you just need to kind of feed them a line so that you can tell them that hey, sorry man, I'm not gonna give you any more drinks. But I just kind of make it about me and them. It's like, hey, look man, you're my buddy. I'm stoked you came in here, I'm stoked to see you tonight, but unfortunately my managers are on me and they think that you've had a few too much and I can't serve you anymore. So try to avoid the words cutting you off. Cutting you off is just like a dagger to someone's heart. Ah! So I'll just use the words, I can't serve you anymore. And if you are going to use the manager as an excuse, make sure that you tell them ahead of time. And they'll always have your back. And then that way, if they go, well, fuck that, I want to talk to your manager, then your manager can come in and go like, yeah, man, sorry you've had too much. It's going to be our responsibility to identify when people are too wasted, and we do need to cut them off. So it's basically our job to tell the manager, hey, we need to not serve this guy anymore. So if you tell them ahead of time, then that'll help mitigate any problems between you and the manager and the customer on the spot, and just make sure everybody's on the same page before you go in there and do something. Don't make a big scene about it. Just kind of keep it quiet in between you and them like you're telling them a secret. You don't need to point them out and make them feel stupid because, like I said, these are good customers. And if you're one of the Bartending Blueprint members, there's an extended version of this training. Also covers private parties because that's a little bit of a different area. Otherwise, this is kind of the only other area where you can have a sort of official license, right? So the liquor agencies that I talked about in the checking ID video, they'll do trainings, and those trainings will give you a certificate that says, hey, you've gone through this formal training, that you know how to check IDs. And what they do is they basically cover how to check IDs, all the state regulations, and then they'll also go into like how to cut people off a little bit. So it's a more formal, basically 3-hour version of these 2 videos that I've shot for you guys. But they're good because it's a little piece of paper and it can kind of act like a get out of jail free card. So if you ever get caught serving somebody underage, it might save your ass. And it'll help you get a job. Now, there isn't a license, like there's a driver's license and there's like an architect's need a license. And those types of licenses for bartending don't exist. And I know a lot of people like to say, well, I went to a class and I got a license. Like a bartending school license is basically their own little made up thing. And yeah, maybe they got certified through the state to be able to teach a school, but there's no such thing as a bartending license in the country. Individual states do have liquor training certifications, and that's not just for bartenders, that's for anybody who serves alcohol, so servers or cocktail waitresses, anybody who gives a cocktail drink or alcoholic beverage to a customer. Those types of trainings may be required or are just good ideas. So make sure you understand the distinction. So that's basically it for this one. If you have any questions, make sure you write them in the comments and try to clarify anything that doesn't make sense. If you like this stuff and you know somebody else who wants to learn to bartend, make sure you share the love and subscribe so you get new notifications when I got new stuff coming out. All right, till next time, I'm out of here. Peace.